Hello and welcome to the latest episode. This is episode 14 of the Crafty Boys, and today I decided that I wanted to go simple because I was picking the beer this week, and I wanted to actually get into conversation with a bunch of people that I know, these dudes here, and talk about this beer, Blue Buck.
So I'm curious. You're too black and white. You're too black and white.
Was I in black and white?
Black and white.
I actually don't mind the black and white
again. I didn't realize I was in black and white. Oh, it was I
There
clicked.
we go.
I went to click
Now
the one
show
that I
up
know
your
that-
beer. Now
There
show
we
up
go.
your beer.
There we go, right here. Blue Buck by Phillips Brewing. Hello,
Okay.
boys. How's it going?
It's going
Question.
good.
Everybody's drinking Blue Buck. Drinking bottles. Who's drinking cans?
I am drinking a bottle.
I'm drinking a bottle.
Sorry.
And,
So what do you got, Locke? What do you have? Are you
David, did you
can?
say
Oh.
can? I'm can.
Nice. All right.
bizarre.
Can
bizarre.
brothers. The Can Brothers.
So, well, let's get right into the Blue Buck thing. So this is from Phillips Brewing. It's a beer that I understand has a history of being a little upstart, considering across the street from me, last Friday officially opened the Red Truck Brewery truck stop, which is their little tiny restaurant that they have to drink Red Truck Brewery stuff. Apparently, now I don't know if this is true. I tried to find this out in reality, but I've not been able to find much online. But essentially, Blue Buck was apparently going to be called Blue Truck, but the Red Truck Brewery said, "No, you can't," and threatened to sue, and so they had to change the name to something else. So
That's
hence
absolutely true.
Blue Buck. So anyway, my first experience of Blue Buck was some time ago. It was in a pitcher at the local watering hole here, which is to me the Wallflower on Main Street here in Vancouver. And I gotta say, if I want to really describe this beer properly, I would say it looks great, it smells great, it tastes great. Overall, it's just awesome. I could have it all the time. So, what about you guys?
It's an easy quaffing beer.
It goes down very easily. And that was actually the first thing I noticed about it when I first had it, because we got a picture of it. It was on sale. It was brand new at the time. And it was one of those things that you just kind of drank and then realized it's all gone. I'll have to have more. And that's kind of how it worked.
You know, I kind of compare this beer to, remember a couple weeks ago when we had Vancouver Island Brewery's, what was it? The Pale Ale?
The Piper's Pale Ale, which disappointed us all.
Yes, I mean, and that was something that we used to drink all the time. And then, I hadn't had it in years, and then I had it, and it was like, it tasted like exactly the same as Budweiser to me. This beer, Blue Buck, is very similar to, I would say, Piper's, where it's sort of like a very sort of easy drinking beer. But this one, actually, I could drink this one all the time. And in fact, I do drink this a lot. Well, not a lot, but I mean, I don't have a problem or anything.
Well, Locke, I mean, you actually.
I'm the local drunk here. Okay, so what do I think about Blue Buck? I gotta say, I mean, this is a beer that I will order by the pitcher without blinking an eye. Now, I will probably drink that pitcher without blinking an eye too. So there you go. Right? I mean, this isn't bad tongue. It's not like it's not out to kick your ass or anything. But you're not always looking for a drink that's going to kick your ass, especially if you're trying to keep it together because you're out and you're hanging out with people you don't want to look like an asshole in front of. I'm sure I can think of someone like that if I really tried, but it's not coming to me right now.
Here, we should do our pour here. So I am pouring.
Oh, I better get a glass.
Yes, get a glass. Get a glass. Shane is getting a glass, everybody. Please stand by. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Shut up.
Okay, so, yeah, okay.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
There we go. Now that's...
Look at the color. Look at the head.
Pretty color. That is a...
Shane pours good head.
Look at that. Okay, Alan, you go.
Yeah, I'm going here. Look at that golden color there. It's
Where's
It
the head,
is
Alan?
pretty beer.
that's a nice beer. It's really good tasting. This is the kind of thing that would be good.
I think
like,
Shane wins in the head contest, though.
Well, you know,
absolutely.
David likes a good head, so you know.
Um,
Not that he's had any for a long time.
oh,
Hey!
let's not go there.
Hey!
Dave, what do you think?
Let's keep it above the belt, gentlemen. I think this is the devil's urine. And
What?
if anybody knows where that comes
What?
from, you get brownie points.
Does that
The
mean it's
devil's
good or
urine.
bad?
So
You like it?
I actually... that comes from Blackadder, actually.
Oh.
Oh my God, that's going back.
It is.
Actually,
One of the
Locke,
best
Locke
shows
probably got that
ever.
right off the bat, I would think.
No, I totally missed that. It's been a long time since I watched any Blackadder, but I mean, count me a fan. Like, I don't have any T-shirts of it, but
So, Dave, I still don't know. Do you actually like this or not?
I do. It's. I agree with you guys. Is what you've already said. It's easy to drink. I find it really smooth, actually, to sound really kind of trite or whatever, but it is smooth.
It's the perfect beer for like any.
look, the thing that's amazing about it is it's the beer that all the big breweries want to believe, or at least want you to believe that their beer tastes like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the adjectives that they would want to use, these apply here, although they generally don't in products that they're. You know what I'm saying? Like for regular beer, this is what I hope that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you? Okay, now this beer is classified as.
I don't even know what it's classified as. It doesn't say.
Well, I was just reading about this actually because I was looking at the bottle earlier and I still haven't found anything. But I'm kind of calling it sort of an amber ale. Maybe somewhere in that sort of realm.
It just says on the bottle that it's a session ale.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it's like this is
Doesn't even say that. on the can.
This is Phillips Brewery's Budweiser. This is
Pretty
this is their go-to thing.
But
If
it's
they
not a
only
lager.
If they
It's
only had
definitely not a
one
lager.
kind of beer, this would be it.
True. It's like their signature.
Yeah.
Their signature brand, essentially.
Actually,
Now.
Okay, go on.
Well, I was going to say that it sort of defies a category in a lot of ways where you have the IPAs, you have the darks, you have the ambers, you have the stouts and that kind of stuff. But this one, I don't know, it kind of fits nowhere in my opinion because here's the thing, it doesn't taste like what I would expect an amber or I mean, it's too dark for a lager, but maybe not. Maybe it's still technically a lager. Maybe that's why it's so.
No. I would say that this is like your really like your ultra smooth, sort of clean drinking, sort of English ale in terms of its flavor, but it's sparkling. It's sparkling like a North American lager. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that totally. So, what do you guys think? What does it smell like to you?
It smells like beer.
It smells like beer.
It's actually, it's not really pungent. That's the
It doesn't
thing.
aggressive smell of much. Yeah.
I mean, like if you take like cans of Budweiser or Coors or whatever, and you empty them out, and then you leave the cans out, the next morning it smells gross. It smells like stale beer. If you did the same thing with a bunch of Blue Buck, you wouldn't get that smell.
Actually, I think you're right.
It would smell like flowers.
Well, I don't think it would smell like
oranges.
flowers, and there probably would be a bit of an odor, but probably not as bad.
Freshly mown
think
hay.
they've got a really sort of a nice balance on the hops. So the hops never taste aggressive, but they're really there, like in a way that you just they aren't in any North American lager. Maybe in some, but it's not aggressive hops. Even like Heineken would be sort of has a distinctive whereas this is it's just that the balance is really sort of unobtrusive. You know what I mean? It doesn't kick your ass or anything like that. It's not a hoppy beer exactly, but the hops balance them all just in a really flat way, like somebody making a dry martini. You know what I mean? Like it's
that's a good description.
Hops and really nice and even.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the perfect beer for pretty much any setting. I mean, you could have this at a party, you could have this at a barbecue, you could have this night out on the town. You could pretty much pair it with any meal, I would say. I mean, if you're having difficulty thinking of a beer to have with anything, this is the one you want right here. I'm not saying it's the best beer that's out there. It's not necessarily the best tasting beer, but if you have difficulty thinking of one, depending on the situation, this is probably the most versatile beer that you can get.
Okay. Here's the question: can you guys think of any really strong competitor in terms of a comparable product from the local microbreweries, like something that's this balance, that's this unobtrusive, unweird, but still like a totally quality product? Who else is would you call competition?
I would say Granville Island Brewery.
Really?
I do like their stuff. I don't remember the name of the specific brew, but they have one that's kind of, I find, that's similar to the Blue Buck.
That's probably...
Well, I remember when I was visiting Shane more often, you would generally have Shane Granville Island stuff, actually. At least you guys were maybe going through a phase of Granville Island.
Well, I mean, over
And I
Vancouver,
like the,
of course,
what is it, the honey brown? Do they do a honey brown?
I think that's actually the one I'm thinking of, because they have their English Bay Pale Ale.
That's probably the one I'm thinking of.
And which is probably the closest.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I'm not saying it's necessarily better or as good as Blue Buck, but I think it's on par.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember who makes Canterbury? Canterbury. I know.
Oh, Canterbury? Well,
Yeah.
I think that's the actual brand. I think that's
Is that the actual brewery? Oh.
I haven't had Canterbury in years and years and years.
Yeah, I remember it being good though, don't you?
I remember it being good, but that was before there was the whole craft beer
Before the craft brew revolution, for
thing.
sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't. If I tried it now, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd like it.
Well, we kind of found that with the
Pipers.
The Pipers, that we used to drink Pipers quite often. It was
Again,
kind of the
we don't
thing
have
that
a
happened.
problem.
Yeah, well, but then of course, then we had it last week or the week before, and it kind of sucked. It was not great.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't think it was terrible, but then I'm a noob, so what do I know?
Yeah, what do you know, Dave?
He knows that he's a noob.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, how's
you
your
go.
car?
There's a
Nice.
segue.
Yeah.
Let's talk about anything unrelated to cars, and then throw in a car question.
Let's bring Locke up to speed here, shall we? Before we got going here, Locke, I was saying to the guys I had a question, and I started rambling on about how I was looking for something new.
Okay.
Well, newer, of course,
Newer.
because I sure as hell don't have the money for something new.
Right.
Anyways, my thing, it's really kind of interesting, and I guess it's kind of guys talk too, because I found I don't know about you guys, but I've always kind of had a thing for Jettas. I like Jettas,
Really?
and
Yeah, it's a very manly car.
I think it is, isn't it, actually?
Yeah.
And this one that I found is even a little more manly.
Oh, really?
Golfs are cool. I do golf.
Well, look, but any
Although
of
they
those
seem to be a little harder to find.
Shane drove the predecessor to the Golf, the Rabbit. Yeah.
That's true. I had a Rabbit.
I remember.
It was
Wagons don't have really satisfying steering. Like the steering's, it's like just the
non-powered.
least power steering. Like it's tight, but it's not. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had that thing.
Is it like a Volvo?
Kinda. Well, not in look, in operation maybe. But
No. But just thinking about the way Locke was talking about how it steers, and because I actually was dealing with the friends, what was it? It was a 740, and at first I didn't like it that much because it felt weird to me. But I kind of got used to the feel of it, and then I was just fucking amazed by the way this thing drove. It was so smooth, and just I was really impressed with it. And it was a beater car too. It was an old car when I had it briefly. So I was really impressed. I really was. And now I have a sense of why people are so, taken with this whole kind of Volvo reputation, right? For
right.
being a really good, smooth kind of tank, bulletproof, really safe, all that kind of stuff, right? Anyways, it didn't look the greatest, right? Obviously, it was kind of boxy and square. It was, I think it was a early 90s or late 80s car. So it kind of had that look to it. But anyways, I was impressed with the way it drove. I really liked it.
You know what you need to get, Dave?
But
I never drove one myself, but I knew a couple of people who did, and they were awful fond of them. They really liked those as a driver car.
Sure.
Well,
You know,
definitely a lot of the cars that I've known of, people either people growing up had and cars that that people kept essentially were Volvos. They went forever. They didn't ever break down, and they, in theory at the time, it wasn't the whole thing that part of their design philosophy was that if your car gets smashed into, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
very much the Volvo philosophy.
point. Really?
Of course, I also wondered whether or not
Right.
what would happen if two Volvos really got into it. What would happen? who would survive?
Hey, look, I run the Jeep.
Two Volvos enter, one Volvo leave.
Oh my God.
An empirical test of that would be a lot of fun. Think Demolition Derby style.
Oh man.
So
Do we
Dave,
have to try
so-
and convince the boys? What?
Well,
So-
did
so
I
you're-
miss the car that you did? So you've got a new car? You're getting a new car?
No. And actually, Al says he's got an idea for me. So what do I really need to get, Al?
You need to get the new Dodge Challenger Hellcat.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, that's
There
like
you go.
Get a DeLorean.
manliness, like personified. I mean, that's right there. That's
There
what
you
it's
go.
all about.
If you could attach a car to your
And you
penis,
probably
that's
touch
the, type of
the
car you'd
gas
want?
pedal
That's
on
what you're
that
saying?
fucking thing, and it empties the tank.
You know what? You get that thing and you pull up to the red light and you just open up the passenger door and you're gonna have like 5 women in there. I guarantee you.
No, not women, Al. Girls.
No.
18.
Well, that's women. That's legal.
No, that's girls.
No.
It's legal, but it's still girls.
No.
It's not women.
No. It doesn't matter.
Spoken
Oh,
like a true
man.
divorced mind.
Oh. Al. I was the
So,
one that said that shit. Holy.
Dodge Hellcat. Get it.
Dodge Hellcat. Okay, well there you go. Mix that with
Okay, so tell me, you touch the gas pedal on this thing and you empty the tank, don't you?
Yeah, probably. I think it's got like close to 750 horsepower.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's a little more than I
Go
need.
a
I
lot of
think.
places very quickly in that car.
Well, with
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
with being in love with cars, Locke has had a love affair with a Jeep, an actual
Yeah.
just one, for must be going on more than 20 years now. I think feels like it anyway.
Uh, yeah, I think a couple of decades. Yeah, a lot of lube's gone into that love affair.
Yeah,
You
you had
know,
to strip it. You had to strip her down and rebuild her up.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, the whole thing about a Jeep is those things. It was sort of the last generation of vehicles that was built to last. I mean, it was sort of before planned obsolescence became so normal that we take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
What year is
yeah,
your Jeep?
yeah. Well, okay, let's think about that. Yeah, it's probably more than that now. It's a '92, so,
Huh?
so 2015 now.
Well, it's like the rabbit that
Your
I
Jeep
got.
is a '92.
Yeah,
Yeah, '92.
and it's driven back
Holy.
and forth to Calgary and
Yeah, it's
beyond.
not
How
like
many
that thing,
times?
it's not like that thing's what you would call lady driven.
Now, was that when Dodge owned Jeep, or was Jeep still its own company at that point?
I think Jeep was GMC.
No, GMC. Shane, look that up.
Back when
cars were
good.
Way back then,
Well, I'll look it up while you guys talk about it.
we were using punch cards in our computers.
Anyway. Yeah, no, if you can believe it, in '92, the thing did actually have an onboard computer.
Yeah.
An onboard computer that can basically, I think it can take machine code and nothing else, but
Yep. Well, I remember Shane's mom's car back in the late '80s had a computer in it. Remember that old Oldsmobile?
It was owned by
Oh.
Chrysler.
God,
Oh,
I
it was
think
owned by Chrysler.
I just had a
Until
crazy
98.
memory. Shane, I think
Yeah?
being in that car might have been the first time I ever heard a car door tell you that it was ajar. Am I crazy? Am I imagining that?
That
well,
was
let me think.
Todd's. That was Todd's grandparents' car.
Todd's grandparents' K car. Where
Yeah.
it used to say, "The
Your
door,
door is ajar.
A long time
Alan
before
and I
that
almost said it
before.
in unison. No, it's not. It's the door. Yeah. Well, actually, the car that was Todd's K car, and I know that Alan had a K car. It was a Reliant, I think, which I
Yeah.
always laughed at because it was like, oh, it's like Star Trek 2.
Well, it was actually the least reliant car I'd ever had.
Yeah, I seem to remember you kept dropping pistons out of the car, and it eventually
Yes.
died that way. But
Jeez.
and
I
I know
remember
that
going down the highway on 2 cylinders.
yeah. And there was, of course, the
man.
what was that after the other car I had? My mother's car, and she had an '89 what the
Oldsmobile.
heck,
Back a
Oldsmobile
sec.
Cutlass Sierra, and it was sort of their main line kind of thing. And it was followed by, and I had that car for a while over here in Vancouver, I think, for a little bit. And then it really started to have problems. So
Then you had the blue Oldsmobile.
yeah, my mother got the Blue Olds, the big boat, which was a Cadillac something or other. I forgot what the name of it is, but it wasn't a Cadillac. It was something like that, though. And that car ran until 2000 and... Oh, it must have been 2008? 2000,
And then you
2000,
got
2009.
And then you got what you've got now, which is like what, a Prius or something?
No, we got a Yaris for a few years, and then we got a Matrix a couple years ago.
Oh right. Okay.
The big blue car, we actually took it down to the wrecking yard down in Richmond, and traded it in because at one time BC had the wreck it program or trade-in program, whatever the heck it was called. So if you had a car that was of a certain age, you could take it in and trade it in for bus passes, like a lot of bus passes.
So your first car was the Rabbit, right?
My very first car was the Volkswagen Rabbit, the 1976 one. That went until 80. Let me think. No, wait a second. Sorry, no, 92, 93?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then I got rear-ended by some idiot who was late for work, and that kind of ended that car's life.
Yeah. I'm sure he got there on time.
Yeah. Well, he apparently did a little bit of jail time too.
Really?
Oh.
My first car was also in 1976, but it was a Ford Fiesta, but it was made in the same plant as the Rabbit. So
Okay.
what was interesting about it was the car itself was a Rabbit essentially, but it just had different body panels on it that made it look distinctive.
Now let's do what Fiesta did at the time. Fiesta. Remember those ads that had the car? They animated the car so the doors and the trunk and the hood would open up.
I don't remember that at all.
No, oh man, I remember that.
But I remember this. When did I buy it? Probably like around 1989 or 1990 or something. And I remember I bought it in the summer, and I thought that this was like a fantastic car. Like, I thought this was like great freedom. And then fall came along, and we had like a big deluge of rain. And me and Shane are going somewhere, and Shane's sitting in the passenger seat, and his feet are, on the carpet on the floor of the car, and we go through a large puddle, and suddenly his feet and the floor of the car pick up. It like raised like a foot up in the air, and I was we peeled back the carpeting afterwards to reveal that there's no floor underneath Shane. There's a seat, and it's sitting there like on the frame and everything, which is fine, but there's actually no metal where his feet were. It's just carpet, and that was a problem.
Those were the days.
What was your first car, Lockhart?
The one that I'm driving now.
Really? Still?
Yeah. Still?
Nice. I love that.
There's nothing wrong with that Jeep, man. That Jeep's going to go for another 20.
It's been through...
If it's the one I saw, that thing looked mint.
Well, was that with or without the CJ7 doors on it?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't look at it carefully, but I'm pretty sure I saw you get to that Jeep.
Well, I remember in 2000 and in 1998 when Locke was living in Vancouver, I came over to Vancouver for a web project, and I was here for a few days, and then was going back to Victoria, but there was like a storm at sea, so the ferries stopped running, and they didn't. But the problem was they kept trying to run, so there was this sort of long lag. Like I showed up at like 4 in the afternoon, and it wasn't until it must have been about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock where they said, you know what, we're kind of done. We're canceling all the rest of the sailings, so good luck to you. But at that point, because of the weather, the buses had been rerouted. All the taxis weren't there, like because all the they knew before the people at the bloody terminal knew that the ferries weren't coming anymore. So no one was there, and so I called Locke. I'm like, hey, Locke, so yeah, about that whole leaving today, it's not going to happen, and there's no transportation here. What are you doing? He's like, oh, I'll come get you. And I don't know, it must have been like another 2 hours went by, and I kept calling. I was calling him, going, oh, this is kind of weird. He's not here. That's strange. And eventually we did get a hold of each other, I think through your roommate at the time. And on his way out to come get me, somebody, I think, rear-ended you or something. I forgot exactly what happened, but essentially it killed your Jeep. Like it damaged your engine, and you had to rebuild it after that.
Wow.
So what happened? Yeah, what happened was the oil line cracked. All the oil came out of the engine, but I'm still driving it, and then it overheated and seized. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so basically, when it was overheating, I could see that something was seriously wrong. So I pulled over. I open up the hood. White clouds fly out at me. And so I prop the engine cover over. And I start getting attacked by crows. Start flying at me, fucking viciously trying to get rid of me because for whatever reason I pissed them off by pulling over and having a fucking meltdown with my fucking engine. So I'm getting attacked by crows. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on here? Like, oh. And it was a horrible embarrassment because I had told Shane I was going to pick him up, and it was just sort of like, okay, I know I've got a rip at times, but what am I? I'm being attacked by crows. Fuck's.
I'm trying to remember how the hell I got back.
Yeah, no. So ultimately from there it got. I think it got towed from there to a repair shop is what happened. Didn't it?
Yeah, no, you did
Bet
get
Shane
towed.
took
I
a
remember.
cab.
I'm trying to remember how I got
Because
back.
I think I couldn't get it to start again.
Yeah, no. I think your roommate or somebody your roommate knew came out and got me because I remember because the
Yeah, no.
transmission was definitely gone. Yeah, somebody knew your roommate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, I mean, it's kind of amusing because it reminds me of the time that my rabbit died, where I was driving. I was picking up people to go to the very first roadside attraction, which was at the Western
Oh, yeah.
Speedway, and it was Tragically Hip, and there were a bunch of other bands.
Midnight
but
Oil.
Midnight Oil and stuff like that.
Pere
Yeah, and
Ubu. Daniel Lanois.
did you actually look this up?
No, I'm just remembering this. I remember the Pere Ubu.
Well, I know
who
that I was
the hell is that?
Pere Ubu. Well, I remember I was getting sick, and I was kind of thinking I might have to bail because I just was not feeling well. And but I decided, I was going to do it anyway. So I went and picked up like a bunch of people, and on the way back from picking people up, I was at the corner. I was just passing through the intersection of Quadra and
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. No. Quadra, where Cook comes together with Finlayson. Or no, not Finlayson. Whatever it is. Anyway, but I was driving down the road, and it was just like this dull sort of whoomp, and the car kind of shook a little bit. And then I thought, well, that's kind of weird. And the car started acting a bit sluggish, and I thought, oh, something's broken. But I kept driving anyway because I had like 3 or 4 people in the car at that point. And then by the time I got to about Quadra Mackenzie was when I realized that I was billowing black smoke out of the back of my car. And I thought, uh-oh, this is bad. So I think I got back to my parents' house, and I think you came and picked people up from there, or Todd did, or somebody did. But anyway, I couldn't do it because I was not feeling well at all, which turns out I actually had the flu for the next like 5 or 6 days. But the engine had actually exploded. The head had cracked in 21 places. The block had cracked in 5 places. And it's like for some reason there was just a catastrophic failure of everything that could have gone wrong inside. And it just went off like a mini grenade. So, and then I had the engine rebuilt. I got a new block, and they rebuilt the entire thing. That thing was so fast then because it had an engine that had like 150,000 miles on it, and to an engine that was brand new and fresh and everything else. And then like 3 months later, that idiot rear-ended me and killed the car. So. But I raised my beer to the engine in that car, which then moved to Main Island, where I'm assuming it is no longer doing this job, but you never know, it might still be doing it, powering a blade on a sawmill since like 19 whatever the hell.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Huh. And that's when I got the gold rabbit thing anyway. So. which didn't last too long. I have no idea. What happened to the car anyway? I can't remember. Like,
You
sold
got
it
a
some
gold
kid.
rabbit?
Yeah, I got a gold rabbit, a 1981
Oh,
rabbit, and I
I don't
had that
remember that.
one. What the hell happened to that car anyway? I think it was when my mother decided that I should drive the gray car because she got the big blue one. That I think I sold that to somebody. I sold somebody not that old, somebody quite young, for like $1,000 or something. But now I'm older and I just could care less about cars. If they go forward, back, and turn, I'm kind of happy.
That's what they need to do, really.
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean,
Typically.
I'd be pretty pissed off if I got a car that couldn't do those things.
it would be annoying. So we are currently at about the 35-minute mark. So is there any sort of final commentary about the beer today? Any other things you want to talk about that you might want people to know about?
Any what?
I think Dave has a small penis.
Dave, your rebuttal?
Well, I mean, Shane and I have gone over this ad nauseum actually, and I
They've
keep
compared.
saying, look,
We laid them out on the
not-
coffee table one night with a small
Yeah.
ruler, a pack of duct tape.
no, I said, look, it's not small. It's so fucking huge that you can't see it. You know, it just takes up your whole field of view. So, I mean, it's
So you
an
pull your
honest
pants
mistake.
down, and it's like a wall of flesh that jumps out of your pants.
That's right.
Then there's Locke, who's like, "Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this. I get
Final
laid
comments
way
on the
more than
beer?
any of you guys."
Blue Buck.
Any final
you-
comments on the Blue Buck? So go ahead, Alan.
If it's available in your area, I suggest that you pick it up. I think it's really good. It goes with anything and really any kind of situation. Blue Buck by Phillips in Victoria, BC.
Dave, final word.
Nice ad. I agree. I like it. It's good stuff. I could drink more of this, and I can't say that about a lot of beers, quite honestly. But yeah, this one is, and I think it's perfect for the backyard burgers. I think that's what this is perfect for.
I
Just
agree.
chilling out,
It's definitely a
summer
summer
night.
beer.
Yeah.
Locke?
If you're looking for a regular, easy drinking beer and you don't want to, drink the piss that the Giants are offering, this is exactly the fix.
The Giants are offering?
Like your Bud, your etc.
You're cool.
And Anheuser-Busch? Are we naming names?
Sure.
Canadian.
Like at the end of the day, look, I'm not a beer snob. I want it to be clear that Labatt Wildcat is a favorite of mine. But
Really?
for
You are kicked off of this podcast.
That is actually quite funny you say that. You know what's
I'm
a
not
weird
saying
thing?
tasty beer. I'm saying if you need to get fucked up in a hurry, that's your ticket.
Well, I have to say one thing about
Yeah,
Wildcat beer.
There's some social occasions that call for that. But the bottom line is this is a quality product, and I drink it with a good deal of enjoyment. And you know what else? Lord, but Phillips hires good art people. Like they make a satisfying looking product. Who in for all the money that Coors and Bud and everybody else spends on their marketing, who has a label that looks this good?
That is true.
You know what I mean?
That is very true.
These
Phillips
guys
does good labels.
care into what they do, and it shows. They like making their beer out of it. Done.
I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Raheem, who is currently in Kabul, running a new university. But the one thing that he misses about Canada, since he moved back just last year, is Wildcat beer. He misses Wildcat beer, and every I don't know month or so, I will send him an image of a bottle of Wildcat beer just to torture him. Which reminds me, he's coming back next week. He's going to come visit, so I should probably get him some Wildcat. Okay, Alan, when people want to find you when you're not being amazing on the Crafty Boys, where can they find you online?
They can go on Twitter and look me up there.
And look me up there.
Yeah.
Just search for Alan, and you'll find him.
What you do is you go to Twitter and then you just yell into your monitor, "Hey, Alan!
Alan, come here!
Come here!"
Hey, Dave, I'm gonna ask you the same question, and I think I might get an answer this week. Dave, if somebody wants to find you online, where would they do that?
Well, I have my freshly reactivated Twitter account.
Nice.
Which, by the way, is
Yeah.
one of the bloody awesomest names ever.
Really?
It's you can't type my name in and find it because it's not as me. It's as the Fool, which is spelled the Phule, and that's
Nice.
what I am on Twitter.
Wow.
That was actually inspired by Robert Aspirin,
Fool's
one of
Company.
my favorite authors.
I love
Indeed.
that book.
Awesome books. Awesome books.
And Locke, when people want to find you when you're
Yeah,
online,
hey, another Robert Asper beer. Very nice. Yeah, like I Sorry, what with me?
where would people find
Alan?
you?
What did you say?
No, I was asking where people would find you online.
Me.
I think Locke's internet. Yes, you. You.
Me? Oh, well, look for my ad in the adult personals on Backpage.
Nice.
Well played, sir. Well played. And of course, you can find me at changeable.ca where I do everything and post everything. And also, if you want to find any four of us, you of course can go to thecraftyboys.ca and check us out there.
Isn't there a Crafty Boys like Twitter handle?
There is.
thing?
That's a good point. And there's also Crafty Boys Twitter account, which is the Crafty Boys. I think that's it.
You
Is
should
that what it
probably
is?
know what it is.
I should know this. I haven't used it in a few weeks, so I should probably get on that.
Yeah, you
But
probably should.
but again, thank you everybody for coming by, checking us out. I know that we have at least one watcher, so that's pretty awesome. So hopefully that this episode has made you happy. And again, we will see you guys next week. And any thoughts as to what type of beer we should do next week?
No.
No, of course not. Why would we
There's all
pre-plan
kinds
for
of
anything?
choices.
Isn't it time we did a review of
Yes.
Belgian quadruples?
Yes, let's do that next week.
All right.
Done. A Belgian
God.
quadruple, whatever the hell that is, because I don't know. Bye, everybody.
Sounds nasty.
Bye.